Good morning, it's Sonia. I am sitting in my studio on a gorgeous Mississippi Gulf Coast morning. It is so pretty outside. I've got the doors in my sunroom open. I got my art helper over there sitting by the front door looking at the world. She and my neighbor's cat have a hate-hate relationship, so I'm sure she's waiting for that. She loves barking at that cat. It makes her day. So she's going to hang out in there, and I'm going to sit in here and drink my coffee and do some art stuff. Right now I'm watching YouTube videos and going through some magazines to get pictures for my art journals. And I was just going through this one. This one is funny to me. I'm loving going through this one. It's one that a friend of mine sent me from Singapore. And it's in English, but it's just funny to me how different the language still is. They call their pets it. So, like on this one, this is interviews with different people. So, one of them says, "What is the most memorable memory you have had of your pet?" And the answer is, "There was once when I saw Lucky lying on its back. I got so worried that something may have happened to it, but it was just relaxing." I don't know why that strikes me as funny, but I don't know. It just is. There's some other places where they do refer to them as he or she, but mostly it's it. So anyway, I am thinking that these might be perfect little journaling cards, and I can put goofy hats on these little people and gesso over these. I don't know. I'm going to have fun with these. So I'm cutting out magazine pictures. Here's a bunch of smaller ones that I've been cutting out and words, and I'll use these in my art journals. So this is just the box I'm keeping them in right now until I file them all. I got a good US Weekly. That's always great for cutting pictures out and doing paper dolls and things like that. But the main thing I want to accomplish today is I want to do this challenge. It's not really a challenge, but it's a video tutorial that Shannon Green posted a little while back. And yes, y'all know I'm obsessed with Shannon Green. Shannon, I'm sorry. I swear I'm not a stalker. I just love her videos. She makes it easy to follow. She makes it not intimidating. Her style is very similar to the style that, I'm kind of developing. It's colorful. It's easy. It's really fun and pretty, and it's just not fussy. And I like that. I have a whole lot of problems with, having the courage to throw paint down on a piece of paper. I know that sounds silly, but I really do think it takes some bravery. And she kind of takes that intimidation factor out of it for me. So I really enjoy her videos. This is her challenge. It's called Journaling by 5's. And I'm gonna go through it with you. But the first step is to get a composition book, which I did at the dollar store for $1. And then you got to glue your pages together so that you have 20 pages. Now, this is the first time that I have glued pages together to make an art journal. And this is something that if you watch YouTube videos, people do all the time. And apparently, it is not that complicated. But I don't know what... Maybe I used too much glue. Maybe I don't know what happened. But anyway, this is the result. It is not normal. And I've tried to squash it and bend it and flatten it. And yeah, I'm going to go with it. So this is what I'm starting with. This should be an interesting experiment. So I'm not going to show you really my whole process. I'm going to go through it kind of step by step. And I'll kind of show you the steps as I go. But anyway, that's what I'm planning on doing today. I hope you guys have a great day too. And I will be back when I get a little more, make a little more progress on this. Thanks. Okay, I think I am ready to start with this. I've got my pages all numbered because, I'm going to count it. I like numbers. I got to have my pages numbered. So I've numbered all my pages, and I've gessoed a few of them because I want to just kind of take this as an opportunity to play with some materials. I've got some paints pulled, I've got some sprays pulled, I'm going to try some Inktense blocks, and so I will be back when I have done this first step. Okay, so I'm done with the first step, and it was both more fun and more difficult than I expected that it would be. I just used a lot of different sorts of paints and sprays, and I played around with some of my Inktense blocks on one of them. You know, they're definitely works in process, but, you know, I think I got some kind of interesting effects on this textured paper, so that might be kind of interesting to see how these are going to turn out. It actually flattened my book out a little bit, I guess, putting the wet on these pages. This one's torn in half. That's going to be kind of fun. But I like the way they turned out. It was really kind of hard to do 20 pages in 15 minutes. I was surprised, but you really kind of have to just slap the stuff on the page and go to the next one and not think too hard about it. So this is some of the Inktense blocks, and I did it on top of one of the pages that I gessoed, and I didn't put enough water on it, so I think I am going to let myself go back and at least run over these a little bit with a little more water to dissolve that fully. But these are some of my Lindy Stamp Gang sprays that I've had for months and months, but I never had even put the water in the bottles yet. So this kind of was a good prompt for me to get those going and play around with those a little bit. Some of my inside is still a little bit wet, so I gotta get that dried, but yeah, I think they turned out kind of cool. And this is the last one. This is with one of those Lindy sprays. You see the blue shimmer sat down in all the little divots in the paper. So, alright, so there's that. So now I'm going to do step 2, which is collage and images and things like that. And I think what I'm going to do is I have this binder right now that I have all this junk in here that I just haven't filed yet. It's some paper scraps and some stickers and some magazine images. So it's kind of a good mix of stuff and not anything with the specific theme. It's just stuff that I've been collecting and I haven't put in its proper place yet. So I think I'm going to use this. I'm going to go through here and organize it a little bit so that I can access it a little easier as I go through. And then I'm going to get all that ready, and then I will be back. Okay, oh my gosh, that was hard. So I got about 4 minutes into that little session and realized nothing I had out was working. It was not sticking. It was not forming to my paper the way I wanted to. So I grabbed a bunch of deli paper jelly prints that I had, and it kind of basically started over. So I did end up spending more than 15 minutes, but maybe just 15 minutes when I pulled out my deli paper, and that worked way better. So I still, you know, didn't get a whole lot done in the 15 minutes, but I've got something on every page. So let me see if I can get my light to work so I can kind of show you what I did. So this is kind of how I started doing it, with magazine images and scrap paper and stuff. And I guess maybe it's just because my paper is so textured that it just was not working. So yeah, the deli paper was working way better. And I kind of like how it turned out. So I think I'm making some good progress. I'm liking all of these different textures, and it's fun. It's kind of nerve-wracking to have a time limit, but it's interesting. So yeah, this is good. So I'm just going to flip through these real super quick. And now I can definitely say that I highly recommend deli paper when you're doing collage over something with a lot of texture. I just used a glue stick too. I didn't use my matte medium or anything like that because I just don't want to put anything else wet on these pages right now. So the glue stick worked great. Isn't that funny? Slow down with a time limit of 15 minutes. Ha! I love that. Okay, so that is that. And I'll be back when I get ready to do part 3. Okay, I think I am ready to do part 3. It's stamps and stencils. So I've got some smaller stencils pulled out and a few ink things. I only have a couple of stamps pulled out because I'm not sure how they're going to stamp on this paper since it's so textured. I've been playing around, I had to experiment a little bit because I couldn't really make up my mind what I wanted to use. I pulled some paints out too. I may actually stencil with some paints, and so we're just going to see what happens. Okay, so on to part 3. Okay, I finished part 3, stamps and stencils, and now that I've done this part, I'm kind of really loving the way things are starting to get layered. So I'm going to do a quick flip through. On a lot of these, I just ended up using paint and some sprays. Oh, great. Some are sticking together. That's okay. Oh, I need to glue that down. I used some black sprays on this. Some of them got messed up. Like I tried to spray over here and then spray through the back, and you know, some of them just got kind of muddled up, but whatever, that's okay. Put some mushrooms on this one, some little stripes, and you know, I only used a few stencils, and so there's a lot of repeating patterns, but you know, that's okay. I've limited myself as far as materials, and I wanted to do that so I could really play with the materials. The stamp I used did actually work pretty well. I only used 2 stamps. This one, which is my whale weather vane, it's absolutely one of my favorites. I use it a ton. I don't know why, it just makes me smile. That one's looking pretty good, and I'll show you the other stamp I used when we get to that. I used him again on this page, and I used the stars a whole lot, and I used, you know, here's some flowers. I used this scale stencil a good bit, and that's the reverse of it. I just, you know, put it in here upside down to get that spray off. Okay, this is the other stamp that I love. I think it's a Tim Holt stamp. I like to think of these guys as my inner judges, so I do like those guys a lot. Okay, so that is part 3 down, and now I am on to part 4. I've got to rewatch the video because I've forgotten what part 4 is, but I will be back when I get that set up. Okay, it is Sunday morning, and it is another gorgeous day. I've got my art assistant hanging out by the front door looking at the world. And I've got some images pulled. This part is part 4, and it's images and words. So I've got some junk pulled. I have made the executive decision that I'm going to give myself 10 extra minutes on this because I don't know, I just want to take a little bit more time, but not too much. I still want to be able to kind of force myself to not think too hard on each thing. But I may have to trim some images and things like that. So I am going to give myself 25 minutes to do this. And then I think I am going to take my little girlie there for a walk. And maybe I'll take you guys along with us. Alright, see you in a bit. Okay, part 4 is done. And that was fun. I did definitely need the extra 10 minutes. But it still was a challenge to just use what I had pulled and to not think about each thing. I have most of my images that I've put out of magazines and stuff sort of just very lightly pasted on typing paper or cheapo copy paper. So, you know, it takes me a second to pull them off, even though they're barely on there, but I do have to kind of be careful. So, yeah, I did need that extra little time, but so I'm going to just do a quick flip through. I'm really loving this. It has been really fun, and this is only the second art journal I've ever actually had. So, I mean, it's been a really good project for me, and I'm excited to really sit down on part 5 is pencils and pens, and, you know, kind of do some more finishing things with this. I'm not sure if I'm going to even attempt to limit myself to the 15 minutes on that last step. So I've watched several people's videos that have done this project, and most of them didn't limit themselves on time on this last step. I may still limit myself some, just because otherwise I would never actually call it finished. But yeah, so we'll see. I'm sure you can tell that I love animal photos, so I've used a lot of those, a lot of different words. Love the doggies. So yeah, put a sticker on this one with the clock. I like that. Little beagle. And I didn't do anything to this one because I had already pasted this in here when I kind of messed up on step 2. So that's going to be my focal point on this page. So that's that. So while this is drying, I think I'm going to go for a walk. So I will see you guys in a little while. Alright, there's a car. Let's wait. Good girl. This is the Shearwater Bridge. Shearwater Bridge. Small craft harbor. Yeah, we kind of love it. Jazzy. So many smells by the shrimp boats. So many sights and so many smells. From underneath the Shearwater Bridge. Can you get up on the boardwalk? Oh, cool. Having trouble there, sister? There's a pelican over there. I don't guess it's gonna focus. They'll be all over the place here around nighttime. What is this wanted poster? Let's see. Wanted southern flounder. Write down collection information, date and time, put whole fish on ice in Ziploc bag. Contact the Gulf Coast Research Laboratory to arrange for pickup. Southern flounder. Huh. 3 distinct eye spots as a characteristic of a Gulf flounder. If you catch a southern flounder, please contact Gulf Coast Research. Huh. She likes walking on the boardwalk. You like that, huh, Jazzy? Now we're just sitting on the pier for a second, looking at the boats, looking at some birds. I wish I've already flown away. Wonder why. Lots of little barnacles. Pretty day for a walk.